Bună dimineața. Paul here with Paul and Tammy from Backpacking and Brews. It is the 7th of May, day 35 on our trek across Romania on the Via Transilvanica. It is almost 11 o'clock in the morning. We got a late start today, primarily because we only have an 8-mile trek to the next town. We're leaving Sebes and we're going to Pianu de Sus. 8-mile day and 1,000 feet elevation gain. So should be less than a 3-hour trip. And where we're staying said check-in wasn't until 4 o'clock and they don't have lunch and sounds like there's no place to eat besides that. So we kind of took our time. So last night in Sebes, we stayed in an apartment, La Strada, right in the center of town. Perfect location, lots of restaurants nearby. So it was just an apartment, no breakfast, no dinner. Was 200 lei for the night. Modern apartment, had a full bedroom, had a living room, 2 TVs, a kitchen with a refrigerator and a stove. And so actually we took advantage of that and we made eggs for breakfast and took our time leaving there. But very nice. Had a wonderful shower that didn't leak on the floor and it was big and plenty of hot water. The toilet was nice. The seat didn't move while you're sitting on it. So the only problem is I lost my darn the head of my razor down the drain. Couldn't recover it. Like crap. So I bought a new pack. But yeah, very nice. So apartment La Strada, very nice. We have good value, good price. The gentleman was waiting there for us when we arrived. We arrived around 4 o'clock. I was in comms with him on booking.com. That's how we reserved it. In comms with him there. Told him about our arrival time. He was waiting for us when we showed up. We had to stop and get some beer first because, yesterday, long day. We left the town of, losing track of all these towns. So from Sebes, where did we come from yesterday? Oh, Sakash. Anyway, Sakash. Boy, they're all blending together. We, let's see. Oh yeah, 20-mile day, at least 1,800 feet elevation gain. Oh yeah, yesterday was a day that we skipped by Aba Iulia. We took a trail. We basically went straight when the Via Transilvanica went right toward Aba Iulia. It was a 2.5 mile distance between the trails. So where we caught up the Via Transilvanica after taking that route. This way we saved some time. We already talked about our time crunch and how we need to try to get everything done within 60 days. So we cut that out, headed straight to Sebes. Sebes, big town happening, looks really modern, very nice. Tennis courts on the outside of town when we walked in. But it was just a long trek, a lot of open field. Beautiful though, but open field, warm in the 70s, and we didn't get in until 3:30, 4 o'clock. So we caught the hotter part of the day in full sun. But the beers and the rattlers helped. And then we went to dinner. We had dinner at an Italian restaurant just 50 feet from our apartment. Very, very good dinner. Very, very nice, modern restaurant. Only had one waiter though, but he did the work. And Tammy didn't like the white wine, the house wine. It was kind of dog tasting. So, but he returned it and we got a rosé instead, and that was good. And they had Leffe Brun in bottles, nothing on draft. And we've been finding that's the case with a lot of the restaurants. They'll have some taps, but nothing's on tap. I guess they just don't have the business to support it. I understand that. Anyway, yeah, yesterday, long day. Glad that one's over. So we were able to sleep in. Very comfortable bed. Again, TV. No English. Well, there were some English speaking channels, but nothing we really wanted to watch. And oh, and current events. So something's going on in Romania. Apparently, there's a no contest vote for the socialist country or something. But we're not seeing any impact, and business on the street seemed to be as usual. One thing we did notice in Sebes, there were quite a few gambling houses. You can tell by the storefront. So the storefront, you can't see inside the building. And one was called Vegas, another one was called Casino. But there were probably saw 6 right on the main street there. And BMWs and Audis parked out front. Not sure what the deal is, but I think they're just sort of betting houses. And so, but Sebes seems to be pretty, a lot of construction going on. There was a street sweeper out this morning, one of those machine ones cleaning, and lots of flowers. Pretty park last night. So we walked by, families were outside just enjoying the weather in the park. So very nice town that we stopped in.
800.
Which one?
800.
800. We're just reached kilometer stone 800.
Yay.
Ta-da! 800. So, yeah, we're on our way. That means 600 to go. And this is day 35. So 60 minus 35 is 25. So do the math. Let's see if we can do it. Coming up, we've got some sort of not iffy accommodations, but we're heading into the mountains after Sugir. So we did some fancy logistics trip planning in order to get to and from our trailheads. We'll talk about more of that later. But anyway, today, 8 mile day, 1,000 feet elevation gain. We're leaving town approximately 11 o'clock. Probably get there around 2 o'clock. Apparently in the place we're staying, Casa Davis, they've got a complimentary wellness hour and a heated pool and the dinner and breakfast. So we'll see how this goes, but they sent us a huge thing. So reserved through booking.com. They sent us a huge list of things to be aware of, their policies and stuff on booking. So no parties, no dogs, or pets, etc., etc. So we'll see how the day goes, but right now it's looking like we got a lot of exposure. So hence the hoodie. Oh yeah, so also wanted to mention, so Tammy and I both have ATM cards that have worked wonderfully while we've been here. And I told you about the ATM, free ATM app. Forget the name, what it's called, but you can download that app and it'll tell you where the ATMs are and whether they cost something or not. It tries to identify the ones that have no fee associated with them. So we've been using that. Well, this morning I tried using my ATM card and 2 different banks, Bank of Transylvania and a CEC bank, and no go. It accepted the card, read the card, but said something about could not complete the transaction. So bummer. Gonna have to figure out what's going on there. But Tammy was able to use her ATM card, which is with the same bank and the same account. So I'm not sure if my ATM card got too close to my darn watch charger, which is magnetic. I know you can't keep those magnetic things, the cards near magnets. And I'm not sure if that caused a problem or if near my battery charger or something. But anyway, my card's not working. Hers still is, so we were able to withdraw some cash. But just a heads up. Hopefully we'll find out what's going on with it and let you all know. So you can better prepare for your trip over here if you need to withdraw cash. But just so you see, this is what we're heading into. We got a long way to go on this dry and dusty road. All right, here's some logistics for the upcoming legs or stages. So tonight we're headed to Pianu de Sus, and then the day after we're heading to Sugir, which is a pretty large town. Following that, you pretty much head straight into the mountains for at least 3 separate stages, and the accommodations are limited in those areas. So the three program stops are, looking at, that's a pretty interesting stone, huh? Number, oh, what the numbers were. 802. Okay, so the 3 stops according to the stages after Sugir, C-U-G-I-R, are first one is Sayundu Mare, or Mar, C-I-U-N-D-U, Sayungu, yeah, Mar, Sayungu, it's a G, not a D, M-A-R-E. The next one is Magurani, and then the next stop is Sarma something Regia. All 3 of those locations have very limited accommodations. So we read through the guide, and the guide showed that in Magurani there is a gentleman who does transport. So we queried him about options for transport and what was available, and of course, you know, we don't speak fluent Romanian, so we had to use Google Translate. Ended up talking to his son-in-law, who spoke better English, and we can communicate better. But what we ended up doing, we've reserved the place in Sugir for 2 nights, and we're going to arrive in Sugir tomorrow. Next morning, we're going to walk without our packs, just our day stuff, and walk to Sayungu Mar. I apologize if it's Sayundu Mar. Anyway, we're going to walk just with our day packs, kind of, if we have a day pack, and walk to there. This gentleman who runs the Casa Tamba in the next town, Magurani, he is going to pick us up in Sayungu Mar and bring us back to our apartment in Sugir. The next morning, he's going to take us from our apartment in Sugir with our packs back to Sayungu Mar, and then we're going to walk from Sayungu Mar to Magurani without our packs, just our day stuff. And he's going to transport our packs to Magurani, to the Casa Tamba, where we reserved a place to stay with him and his location. Then the next day, after arriving and walking to Magurani, we're going to walk just with our day packs to the Sarma Regia, and it's a long word, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sarm something Regia, and he's going to transport our packs to there. And we've already booked accommodations at a sort of a resort. It's got a pool and everything just below Sarm Regia. It's about 5 kilometers beyond Sarm Regia. Sarm Regia, right there. It's Google Maps says it's temporarily closed, but there's a old 2,000-year-old Dacian ruins there that you can explore. I'm really hoping we have time to do that while we're there, because That to me seems like to be one of the highlights of the trip. You know, it's one thing to see a 400-year-old church, which is pretty cool, but it'd be another thing to see, Roman ruins or Dacian ruins from 2,000 years ago. Now, I saw some videos of it, and, I don't think there's not a lot there, but hey, it'd be cool. Just have some time to explore. It's not directly on the Via Transilvanica, but it's real close by. So that's our logistical plan to get from Sugir all the way to Sarm Regia, and using this gentleman who runs the Casa Tamba for transport services, kind of like a donkey service that they called it on the Camino de Santiago. That's our plan. The next stop is also kind of iffy because very little accommodations, and it's a stage stop. And I'm not going to remember the name of that village right now, but I'll share more information about that. We did book accommodations, we think, in the next village where the stage ends. But the gentleman, after I texted him via WhatsApp using Google Translate, called me on the phone, and we tried talking on the phone with Google Translate, and it was a horrible mess. We were able to communicate somewhat, but not very well. But all three of these locations, these next stops coming up, and four, matter of fact, have what I think is very limited accommodation options. So definitely want to plan ahead of time before running through that. And you're way in the mountains here and away from grocery stores, water. They did say there's lots of waterfalls. So maybe, as long as you got a filter, you can get water. But just something to consider. That was our plan. We were hoping to stay in Sugir for like 4 nights and just, sort of day transport to these locations and day hike using this gentleman for transport services. But the first location, Singumar from Sugir, is a 45-minute drive. The second location, Magareni, is an hour-and-a-half drive, one way. The third location, Sarm Regia, is a 2.5-hour drive, one way. So we did ask for a cost estimate to do all that. And he said it's going to be 1,700 RON. And, granted, we could have paid the money, and we thought, the money was well worth what he was doing for us. But to be 2.5 hours on the road after or before a day just didn't make any sense, nor hour and a half after or before, all day of hiking. So we came up with that new plan, and we'll see, let you know how it works. So we just took a little break right at kilometer stone 806. 806. And we came away from the sort of the high mountain pastures, and now we're in this semi-mature forested area. Nice path, a little buggy right now. It's me blowing around, but we're about 2 miles short of our distance in Pianu de Sus. Hope to get there by about, like I said, it's 1 o'clock. Hope to get there by 2 o'clock. The place where we're staying is 0.6 miles from the center of the village. So, and unfortunately, it's not in the direction of the trail. So it's sort of 0.6 miles out of our way. Not a big deal today because it's only an 8-mile day, but tomorrow when we have another 18-mile or so day, that 0.6 miles is going to just add to the misery. But anyway, right now it's pretty nice. It's overcast skies and kind of feels like it's going to rain, but forecast shows no rain in the near future. So but we'll see. Alrighty, so Pianu de Sus is right there down that valley. Unfortunately, we're not going that way. We're going to our left, and then we're gonna have to cut back up to our accommodation or cut back down. Right now, well, beautiful view from here. You can see across all those crop fields. And we're in pasture land right now. Lots of sheep, signs of sheep. And we share a trail with this Ellis routes, which is kind of cool. They do biking, hiking, and I'm not sure what that one means. But anyway, real pretty view. And if you've noticed, the poles are now checkered or striped, white and black stripes. I think we had heard from the Tasulesa social that they were experimenting with that, to see if they were easier to see than just the gray pipes, and we would agree that yeah, they are easier to see from a distance. Oh right, so our accommodation last night, yeah, we thought well worth the money. Just one minor what we thought was a drawback. So it had a thermostat that applied to the radiators and also the towel warmer in the bathroom. And as most of you know, certainly what we're doing is we're washing our clothes, and if we can't dry them outside, we're drying them on the radiators or the towel warmers. But this thermostat was locked and was controlled by someone else. We asked about it, and the host landlord said that no, you can't adjust the thermostat. Only if the temperature drops below, I think it was 22 degrees Celsius or something like that, would it come on. And he mentioned something about being tied to the washing machine, but that didn't make any sense to us. But anyway, really good apartment, very comfortable. But the fact that we couldn't, so the radiators didn't come on last night, nor did the towel warmer. Fortunately, or unfortunately for the town of Sebes, basically I strung a line outside our windows, which face the main street, and we hung our clothes out to dry out there. So there were a lot of these places that are masonry built have no sort of things on the wall to tie a clothesline to. And this is not a regular clothesline I brought it's like one of those 1,000-mile-an-hour lines. So really thin, but strong. I've got 50 feet of it, so I can go quite a distance. But there is very little in these rooms to tie them to. So I have to use my imagination to figure out how to put a clothesline up. And then I actually bought I ordered them online, real tiny clothespins. So the clothespins are perfect for the size of the line that I have. They're not regular size clothespins. They're only probably about an inch, maybe inch and a half tall. And they've got a spring on them, just like a regular wooden clothespin or a plastic clothespin. So they work really well. I brought like 50 of them or 25 of them, I forget, but plenty enough for, the minimum amount of clothes that we want to dry. And there have been some places that have washing machines or have offered, we'll do laundry. Some places, like in hotels, and it's a per item cost, and it just ends up being cost prohibitive. Even we don't want to pay, that kind of money. Hey, wash my underwear for $5 or €5. Like, forget it. So we, dang it, got a branch in my legs. And we don't want our stuff dried, because especially merino wool, that stuff will shrink, and some of our other fabrics might too. So we prefer just to hang dry our clothes. Some things we might throw in a dryer, but most not. Anyway, so that's one of the bummers with the place last night. But overall, we're very, very happy with the accommodation, and we'll surely rate it as such.